Hello, my name is Josh Beck. I'm a technology teacher in San Antonio, Texas. We are doing a unit on Android programming with my 8th grade class. We've done a lot of preliminary activities. If you haven't watched the first few videos, you might want to do that. In this particular tutorial, we're going to talk about a very simple concept, how to utilize the menu button on the phone. And I'll bring up the emulator here. You can see right there we've got the menu button. That's a key feature most users expect to have when they open up an activity or an application, or at least I do with my phone. Whenever I download something new and I start the program, one of my first responses is to hit the menu button and see what options are available. So you want to provide that for your users, even if it's something that says like quit and allows the user to quit the application from the menu. It's a nice thing to have in there, and it's real easy to utilize the menu button. So here I am at the Android developer site, and here's the web address, okay? developer.android.com/guide/appendix/fac commontasks.html. This is a good one. And I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to choose adding items to the screen menu. All right. So, and if I click up here, it says adding items to the screen menu. See creating menus. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring up that web page for creating menus. And it's going to give me some code that's going to be helpful that I can basically copy and paste into an activity. So let's see. What I'll do is before that page will come up in a second, I'll let it load in the background. What you need to do is you'll need to, if you've got an activity, all right, and you can see that I've got a text view here. This is going to be important later, called random text, all right, and I've associated it with my layout file so that I've got a text view basically that prints text. You need to create I'm going to create anyway, two different variables: private static final int menu, and you can call that anything you want, all right, and private static final int menu 2. And you set it equal to menu, and the capitalization counts .first and menu .first plus 1. And those are a couple of values that allow Android to process the options that the user selects when they hit the menu key. So right underneath where your class is, you declare those two variables, and we'll be using those a little bit later when we post our menu code in. So all right, let's take a look here. If I go to creating menus on the web page, it should be loaded. It is. So here's a little chunk of source code they give us. And basically, you've got on create options menu, and you've got on options item selected. Okay, two methods that you can basically cut and paste into any activity to get the menu button working. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go to my activity. This is a real simple activity that doesn't do much of anything. And I'm going to paste this activity, these two methods, right before the end of my class or my last bracket. All right. And the stuff that you see above it, don't worry about it. We created a couple of buttons in class and made them work. All right. So when I do that, you can see that menu new game is undefined. All right. Well, that's because the menu.add. All right. I'm going to call this first one menu 1, all right, and what's in parentheses is what it prints. So I'll go ahead and print, press me, all right. And the other one, if you remember from the very top up there, we created that integer variable. We're going to call this one menu 2, all right. And I'll leave that quit because we'll actually, when we press menu 2, we'll make it quit the application, all right. And so in the second method that we copied and pasted, this is on options item selected. All right, case menu new game. Well, in the case that menu 1 is pressed, all right, we don't have a method called new game anywhere. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, we've got a random text, which is our text view. So we're going to set the text on that. Random text dot set, and then I'll just use the dot. And this is, I kind of like to do that. If you use the dot, you're sure to get it right. So I'll scroll down and to the S section, dot set, And it's cool because as you go through and you scroll through these, you can kind of see what's available to you, and you can get some ideas and do some exploration. Let's go ahead here. .set. For the purposes of this tutorial, though, it's taking a little bit longer than I had hoped. There we go. .set text. All right. And inside where it says text, it just wants a character sequence. So you have pressed the menu button. All right. And that'll set the text view on the top to that particular string. Okay. And down here where it says menu quit, well, we didn't call ours menu quit. At the top, we initialized our menu +1 to be menu 2. Okay. And instead of quit, we don't have a quit method. We'll call the standard finish, which will quit out, completely destroy the Android activity. So we've got a menu button. It's going to bring up two buttons that say press me and quit, and it'll do these things when those menu buttons are pressed. So I'll go ahead, I'll save it, and I'm going to right click on the application. I'm going to choose run as Android application. Let's see, this one's called, here it is. I'll start it up here, and if I click menu, you can see that, you know, in the old code it still said new game. Ours would say press me and then quit, and if I press this, the text at the top changes to you have pressed the menu button, which is what I had coded previously before doing this tutorial. And if I press the menu button here for the quit, that executes the finish. All right, and by doing that, the application quits. So that's how you utilize the menu button. You can incorporate that into any activity. Thanks for listening, and look for more tutorials.